So my job today is to pull off all of this sheep's wool that got tangled up in these roses, climbing roses, that I'm going to plant in the moon door. Sam's just done an amazing job of building the stonework and didn't film any of it. But anyway, just thought I'd show you. You can see how the sheep's wool has been whipped and spun by the wind. I mean, obviously there's still a lot more spinning would be needed, but it just shows. Just the power of the wind did that. So yeah, I need to just finish getting off as much of that as I can.
So I've got the electrician inbound tomorrow. So I'm just putting the noggins in for the positions of the switches and the sockets. So he's giving the heights and the centres for everything. So it's quite straightforward. I've got my little mini chop saw. It's easy for me to work around, and it's just like this, basically. Just little noggin, set 30mm back. Metal box will go in the centre there. So there's not actually that many. 3 double sockets here in the bedroom, light switch, TV point on the, well, behind all of that there. Yeah, but it's just a matter of just get it done. It speeds the whole process up.
So, Sam has been terrible. He keeps forgetting to film what he does. It's a nightmare. So, he's done an amazing job. Don't know if you can see those. Building up the pillars. So I'm going to put those climbing roses that you've just seen me taking all the sheep's wool that hit it when it came out of the bags. It hit into that, obviously, in the storms that we had. So those are 2 climbing roses. Now those roses, I'll put the name of them on the screen that I'm putting in. I think in some places in the world they are considered to be invasive, but here it's not so much of a problem. And what I plan on doing is I'm going to put some kind of rigid type of netting trellis, if you like, or what's the word? Metal mesh, something that holds its shape. And I'm going to put that around there to give it something extra to cling onto. It might work, it might not, but everything about this, as I've always said, all of this is a trial and everything for us. And we're doing it in between time when when things are on hold with the cottage, for example, when we're waiting for the electrician to come, and we're trying to plan our next steps with regards to what we're doing next in the cottage. So these things are kind of just done in between, and there's nothing to say that it's going to stay like this, but it's how it is for now. My other plan is I'm going to put maybe some herbs in there as well, because they're quite big. So I might put some like a little herb garden as well, I think, or maybe some trailing nasturtium in there. And I'm hoping eventually in time they will fill in with soil and other things will grow, mosses and lichen and stuff. So yeah, it's all just very kind of new, and you've got to have vision. I think one thing about doing this cottage build is you kind of have a vision of what you see, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But one thing this has definitely taught me is patience. and not stressing if things don't quite work out as you hoped, because let's face it, doing a renovation like this, yeah, it's not always easy. Enough waffle, let's get these roses planted. So I was thinking of this, we've got this left over from when we put the fence along to stop Tilly and Toby getting into the front area, I don't know what you call it, the driveway. So I thought if I cut it into strips of 3 and cable tie it round, it's using what we've got, I don't have to spend any money, and it'll stay rigid, which some of the other stuff might not. So I'm hoping it gives the roses something to cling to. So yeah, we'll give it a go. I know this isn't ideal, it's a bit sharp, but I'm going to bend those back and then go across, and hopefully that'll give enough for the roses. Just bend these back. We've still got to build the fence and some kind of gate here. I don't really know how it's going to work to keep the chickens out, to be honest, because yeah, I do want to keep them out. Otherwise they're just going to sort of disturb everything, pecking through, trying to find worms and whatnot. So it'll all be kind of find a way right now. I mean, we would love to build a fancy fence, but that's not going to be practical right now. So we had some mesh that we used when the ducks first arrived, and that is was just so that they knew where their home was. It was never meant to be keeping out predators, but the chickens, we noticed, didn't go through it or couldn't get through it. So I'm thinking that might work well. But it's a right faff to put out because it just gets into a right knot. It's not really going to look very pretty right now, is it? But that's okay. Eventually it will. Like a lot of things here, it doesn't look pretty. Someone actually said that our place looks like a junkyard. Probably does, to be fair. And I've got that huge pile of waste from the donkey shelter. It's just stuff there because I really nowhere to put it. Sam's not had time to build me any more compost bins, so we just kind of, a lot of this is just muddling through. So yeah, it probably does resemble a junkyard right now, but in the summer months it'll be transformed. Well, I hope so. Anyway, I need to stop talking to you because I'm getting it wrong. It's done! Well, I've not planted yet, but I'm thinking some really nice solar powered fairy lights that I could wind round that, and then as the rose grows round it, it'll just merge in. yeah, I think I'm going to see if I can find some cheap ones off Amazon or something, and I'm going to add that in. But I'll have to plant the roses for now. I mean, they're not going to grow massively in the next sort of few days till I get some lights, so I'll add those in afterwards. It's no big deal. But yeah, fingers crossed this works, considering it's just an upcycled freebie. And even the roses, they were reduced to some crazy, like a few euros. I bought them at the end of the season last year, and they were so cheap. And so all of this has probably cost me a few euros, under 10 euros. Because well, let's not lie here. Actually, that trampoline was at least 100 euros, but Storm Debbie decided, nah, you're not having that trampoline, took it off down the field. So we're just recycling what was damaged. The kids have got a new one now, it's well anchored down. So far, when it managed, it didn't move. Can you believe it? I have everything here. The roof got ripped off the static caravan, and that blooming trampoline that's even bigger than this one didn't move an inch. Anyway, that's good. It's a good thing. So yeah, let's get planting these roses.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
I'll just put the box on. I'll hold the ceiling out.
So we just put whatever lights here on that switch, okay? Supposing there's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, okay? And then on that switch we put 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can turn either on or off, not all on together.
Going there in that bank.
All right. So you'll have to do a trench. We'll put the steel trunk down the wall now. Yeah, and a gland into it. Yeah. The box is surface box. It's not a.
I've seen it on the house down there.
Yeah, it's not a recessed box.
Is it going to go over like in the corner? And is that where it's going? With the outside?
He said I think within 2 meters.
Oh, within? Okay, right.
That's why it's there. Then.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they're putting it there. You get away with it on that cable there, out of the way. You should ask.
Well, it's been a mind-boggling day. It's luckily we've had Steve up, our super plumber, because he can speak electrician language when it comes to heating system stuff. I was just like, yeah, but yeah, I stick to woodwork. But we've got the two lads here doing the first fix electrical. David himself has been up. He's a clued up guy when it comes to the electric, so he knows all the positions and sort of highlighted a few extra little things about little fuse switches here and there. And yeah, electrician language is quite gobbledygook, but then I suppose joinery is as well. But yeah, it's funny working with different trades. But I'll take you in, show you the lads. They might have a little, they might be shy, they might be not, I don't know, but well, yeah, I'll show you what's going on inside. What's your name?
Oshi.
Oshi.
Yeah.
This is Oshi, the electrician, doing his magic. And does anyone recognise this lad? Who does he look like? He's Desi's son. So, yeah, I'm just sort of, I'm staying out the way, putting a few noggins in. Just let these lads crack on and do their magic. And yeah, let's keep going.
got my fairy lights. So I'm going to wrap them around here. It looks a bit like they're in a big knot. It's like Christmas all over again. I have to unravel them as I'm going. Anyway, they're solar powered and hopefully it just add a nice little touch. And a few people have said, why have we put the arch kind of off centre? And the reason we did that was because it's in line with our door from our lounge. So yeah, that's just why, what our thinking was. It just looks like when you look out the lounge door, it's straight through our lounge window. So that was our thought process there. But anyway, let's wrap these lights around the arch. Are you using the blue barrow?
Whichever, I'm not bothered.
I find this one easier. You have to have it pointing the right way. Yeah, probably. Well, it's going to be horrible now it's rained on it. That was a mistake, wasn't it? Leaving it uncovered. Sam and I were just obviously in the thick of putting the soil in the beds, and I said to him, what's the betting now? All the plasterboards turn up and we're absolutely knackered. We've got to get all these plasterboards in the house. And he's like, oh no, it can't come today. I'm absolutely exhausted. It's exhausting, this, it really is. Sam wants to get a digger in. And I'm like, no, it's going to cost us like €300 probably. I'm like, no, I'm not paying that, because that's like 3 radiators right now. We just need to not think about that. And then it's just turned up.
once we cut this path, we're open to the elements. So the idea is to get these inside. There's a fair few of them.
Thanks to Clay.
Yeah, thanks Clay. There's a little truck down there. I think that's going to save our backs. We're going to wheel it round the house, you see, and then in through the other door. So let's just get to it.
Are we going that way around? You still think that's the best thing to do, to go all the way around?
We can try it. If not, then we'll just have to hold them two doors open. I mean, to be able to push it with just
it's quite compressed, aren't they?
Like that.
Maybe you can stand here and hold them, then me and Daddy can lift them on. It's been full, It's getting exciting. This is the fun bit.
Is it?
we get to think about ordering the bathroom now. So Sam's just marking out the sizes of the things that we're thinking of ordering to make sure that it's going to work before we put the order in.
Yeah.
So I'm getting my freestanding bath. I know baths are contentious on the YouTube comments, but we love a bath, and yeah, it is important for us. So for us, a bath is a must.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're having, well, let's see. Spray paint. So, I don't know if anyone can see it right.
I think it makes sense. That's the quadrant, 900 by 900 quadrant there for the shower. The sink, the bath, and the toilet position. It's not the end of the world, but the outlet for the toilet there, inlet, be the inlet, won't it? Be going in, not coming out. It should really be a little bit closer to the wall, but if I have to, I can just build that wall off with some timber, like 2x2 or however much I need to, so that we can get the system to sit against the wall. So could even be a little stud here with a little shelf on, or we can just go ahead and panel the whole wall out, which is no biggie. So it's just so we can get the bend for the, you know, the poo pipe into the inlet there. So I've just put a line there. It's probably an inch or so more than what the actual spec is on the toilet size, but I'm taking into consideration the 90° for the outlet from the actual system itself. But that's it. I think it's all right.
Is that how far the bath comes out? That's it.
You've got on there 620.
It's narrow.
Yeah, it's going to be. You're probably going to be a little bit away from there as well, a couple of inches.
Oh, so you've gone away.
I've just gone to the stud. 620 is there.
It's a very narrow bath.
Whereas you're probably a bit away from there. That's 620.
I think I'm going to look into the baths a bit more, because I want a freestanding bath, but some of them are narrow, and I don't. That looks narrow to me now. It's drawn out, and I like to have a bit of a wallow, like a hippo. I like to be sort of, yeah. And I was always dubious about a freestanding bath, because they tend to be.
You have to go and lie in it, don't you? We've been lying in it. Well, Rebecca's been lying in a few.
Yeah. And they've been fine, but then I'm worried that this one online is cheaper because it's narrow and it's not comfortable, and that's why it's cheap, because no one's buying it. So
shoes.
Yeah, I need
to try them on first.
I'm going to have a think about the bath, I think. But we should probably talk about, seeing as the electricians are here, we were always, anyone that's watched us from the start has always thought, we always said, didn't we, that the plan was here. We've been off grid now for 3 years.
Yeah, with the travelling and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so we used to be, we've not had electricity for 3 years. So
between 2 and 3 years.
Yeah, we were thinking originally that we were going to just
fall off grid,
stay off grid, and go with solar panels, generator backup. But we've had, but since we've had 2 winters here in Ireland off grid, what we've realised is that solar in the winter, you know, it's not really going to work. You'd have to invest heavily in solar, additionally probably wind.
Definitely wind. 30 panels, at least between 20 and 30 panels.
Yeah, that's what the guy kept. We had someone come around, and so it's 20 to 30 panels, wind, and then the generator as a backup.
It was 18. It was 18 panels, but ideally it should have been 22. But we could only get 18 practically on the roof, the space that we've got.
Yeah, it would mean the whole roof would be covered with panels.
Yeah, and it still wouldn't give 100.
No,
it still wouldn't give 100%. You'd still be using the backup generator. So you think you only got 74% of the power from that system, 5 kilowatt system. So yeah,
it was just very expensive to begin with. Like it was a lot more than, we haven't got that right now. Basically, situation is we don't have the money to spend on solar panels. So we're realising as well, with the setup we've got, which is great in the caravan, we could have potentially just increased that slightly here in the cottage and tried to just wing it a little bit. But the amount that we are spending topping up our petrol generator and the amount of problems that we have with diesel generators, every diesel generator we've had has been crud. Yeah. Bit
Unless
rubbish.
you're spending decent money on a decent...
Yeah, thousands.
Yeah, a good few grand on a decent one. You know,
Yeah.
these little ones that are on the market.
Mind you, we spent 1,500 on that other one. And even that was broken, well, you all know, within
5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks of use. And that was on...
Not even 100 hours on the clock.
Yeah, 2 hours a day we put it on just to charge up the power banks. And even that, just apparently they don't
Killed it.
like charging up. I mean, what these generators are actually for, I'm not really sure. But apparently not for living, doing what we were doing. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
But the ultimate situation is, unless you've got a lot of money to invest in a very good generator, ideally diesel one, and huge amount of solar and all that kind of stuff, and power to store in Ireland, you're going to be we were probably paying for petrol what we would be spending.
Still paying a lot for petrol,
Yeah, what we would be spending on an electricity bill every month.
Yeah.
And the other situation for us is that we eventually, some people know the barn, the plan is to make that into some kind of self-catering accommodation down the line at some point. It would just be easier if we had electricity, because trying to get guests to monitor power is not going to be...
They're not going to want to do that.
Not going to want to do that.
They're not going to want to do that.
Yeah, and we love travel as well. And if we have people that come here to house sit, to look after all of our animals...
There's problems with the power.
In the winter, we don't want to be having them without power and dealing with that on top of everything else.
Yeah.
So for us, we decided we'd just stump up the €3,400 it was to get connected to the grid.
Well, we can do an offset in the future. That's something we talked with David about on the electrical front. And a lot of people are doing it. You know, there's grant schemes, and then, you know, you can put a solar system onto the house, it's connected to ESB, and you'll get an offset on your bill. And I've spoken to a couple of people, domestic and commercial, who have got this offset, and it's good. It's good. It's worth investing in the future. So that's why it's been put on the back burner, and we've just gone for the mains electric from ESB.
So we've got Jimmy coming back, haven't we, on Saturday? And he's going to dig the trench for the underground
cabling.
Armoured cabling.
I'm going to go and pick it up shortly, the actual pipe.
Yeah, because ESB have been out, told us where they're going to put the post.
Yeah.
So we've got to run to that and put a box on the back of the cottage.
Yeah.
And
we have professionals doing all of this now, which is great.
Yeah.
We've got David here.
Yeah, David, the amazing electrician.
Well, there was so much that he helped us with. Because I thought, here, socket there, switch here. There was a lot more to the electrical side of it then. I thought that's what's good with having someone like David, because he knows his stuff.
He points out things that we hadn't really considered, you know, like the position of sockets and switches that we would have perhaps gone with, and he's like, well, really?
And isolation switches for certain switches, and then...
That's why it's good to get a professional in sometimes, especially well, you have to anyway to get it signed off.
And having certain things two-way, and you want a switch there when you come in, and then obviously all the internet side of it as well, and how to boost it around the house, and...
Yeah, all these things that we never even thought about. Anyway.
Anyway.
So back to bathroom. So the plan is now that I think the next thing is going to be putting the bathroom in, isn't it?
Yeah, I can, once I've got everything sorted for Jimmy outside, and I've got to move a bit of stuff so he got easy access to the trench, I can go ahead and plasterboard this wall here and that front elevation wall there. There's various bits around this property now I can actually start plasterboarding, but I'm going to keep it nice and open and free for the plumber. Don't want to make it difficult in any way. But yeah, there's quite a bit I can actually start plasterboarding now. So it's going to start changing rapidly sort of in the next week. With actual plasterboard going on the walls, it's crazy.
And that's why it's good to draw on the floor, isn't it? Because I'm now looking at this shower thinking...
It's good.
I think it should be bigger. I think that's a pokey little shower. And we've got space to do more.
Forget about that pipe though, just imagine that's not there. I think that's throwing your eye off.
I still think it looks like a pokey little shower. I mean, we're used to using a pokey little shower at the minute in the caravan.
Yes.
So I'm used to a small shower.
I didn't realise how difficult this was.
Yeah.
Picking a bathroom is
this is harder than anything else.
Building work was like one thing. Big lumps of wood, building a roof, all the walls, the concrete in, masonry, that's just big stuff. But this is like the fine details now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to think a lot.
Yeah, and I'm obviously having to think ahead of colour schemes in the bathroom and what I want, and
tile
choices, and it's really tricky, and I'm really overwhelmed with it. But I've got a real thing for green.
It's good. It's good.
I've got an idea of green, emerald green. I've seen some amazing tiles that I absolutely love. Emerald green and copper fittings and the copper radiator that I've got my eye on. Just for the bathroom. We're not putting any copper radiators anywhere else, but...
You buy it, I'll fit it.
Yeah.
You get tiles, I'll fit it. My head just falls off when I go in the shops because there's so much selection and choice and you're like...
This is why we do adverts. So I did the Wild advert, people know for the deodorant, that I actually love and I do use it.
I actually use it, it's really nice stuff.
But these are the
Smells
things,
good.
these are the reasons why we do these little things, because I can then treat myself to something that I perhaps wouldn't have ever bought otherwise, which is a really lovely copper radiator for in this bathroom, because I want it to look very oldie, antique-y vibe.
It's a copper colour, isn't it? It's not copper.
No, it's not made of copper.
It's just a colour.
It's the colour, but it looks lovely. So it's a column radiator, so it'll look really nice.
Copper baths.
Well, I can't afford a copper bath. Just a normal freestanding bath with nice claw feet that I can't get in the copper, because if I put those claw feet in copper, that puts €200 on it.
I'm going to paint them copper.
So I'm going to just paint them copper.
Yeah, hammer right copper.
To blend in with everything else. And then the shower, again, as soon as you can put it in copper, another 200 or 300 on it.
Yeah.
But we'll have to deal with that. And the taps and whatnot. So that was my kind of thinking. I think we've waffled on quite a lot now.
Waffled on a bit there, haven't we?
I might put this at the end, so anyone, I'll probably just go, if you don't want to watch this, a load of waffle, don't.
Yeah, like that extra
Turn off now.
At the end of the credits.
Yeah. Anyway, we will call it there, and we will see you next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll be a whirlwind of stuff done.
Yeah, hopefully. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.